Good evening, Hugh. It's evening here in Australia, morning there. How does faith in the gospel perfect us? Mike, you pointed me directly to the book of Hebrews. Just looking some of the scriptures up on my computer, because Hebrews, like no other book, is saturated with this word perfect or perfecting or perfecter, because the author is talking about how it's Christ who is perfecting us. Chapter 12, verse 2, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. And verse 23, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven, you have come to God, the judge of all, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect. And as Hugh was saying, we can't perfect ourselves. Oh, fellas, we know this. But Mike's right. We need to remind ourselves again and again and again that we will never perfect ourselves. For some strange reason, the notion of us perfecting ourselves reminds me of the endless accounts that we hear amongst our friends of some surefire scheme to get rich, which always turns out to be a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme or some such thing, and which isn't... They tell you that it's easy, you can sit back and just have all this money coming in, passive incomes and all that sort of stuff, free grace. But it isn't. You have to work very, very hard and get nowhere. And spiritually, we could be doing that too, working very, very hard to keep the law, to keep all the rules that we think are important, and keep failing and get nowhere. Just encourage everybody. Back in Hebrews 7, verse 19, for the law made nothing perfect. Just if you meditate on this word that Mike used, Hebrews is just brilliant to meditate on. And verse 28 of the same chapter, the law appoints as high priests men in their weakness, but the oath which came after the law, God's promise through Jesus, appointed the Son who has been made perfect forever. He's the only one who can draw us up towards that perfection. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And believing the message. I know I always go back to it like a broken record, John 6:29, and Jesus told the people following him around. They wanted to work, they wanted to figure out what to do to earn God's favour. This is the work that God requires to believe in the one he sent. And how? We believe and he does the work. And there's something extra for me in all of this. We've got to remember that the gospel story is a love story. If you and your wife fell in love, if you remember back to then, let's assume that your wife fell in love with you. And once she'd fallen in love with you, there was nothing you could do to make her fall in love with you. She already loved you. And Jesus already loves us, but much more spectacularly so, he knows us inside and out. But he loves us. And he offers to perfect us. Just come and dwell with me. Come and sit with me. And I will make you perfect, he says. I will polish you up. I've just been polishing up some brass hinges to try and make them look perfect for a little box I'm making. Not doing a very good job. And it's nothing compared to what Jesus, in his power, he He became everything that we thought we were. He endured all of the punishment that we thought we deserved, brothers. All of it. And now he's actively perfecting us, on top of interceding for us and advocating for us at his Father's throne. What a marvellous Saviour we have. What a love story this is. We should all fall into his arms and worship and delight and rejoice, because it is the greatest love story of all time. I hope that some of the Galatians, I hope that most of the Galatian church got the point. And I just pray that we are all getting the point, that we can't earn his love. We can't earn his favour. We cannot perfect ourselves. Only he can do that. Love you, brothers.